Because of the long-standing global war on drugs, governments have passed laws that mean people who use drugs are criminalised, making it difficult to receive compassionate treatment and health care. This mistreatment extends into the broader community, where the majority stigmatise people who use drugs. This criminalisation means that people whose drug use has become problematic for them often don't access treatment because of the biased attitudes of health professionals towards them. The Canberra Alliance for Harm Minimisation and Advocacy, or CAHMA, is a peer-based drug user organisation that supports the health and human rights of people who use drugs through a lived experience lens and advocates for clients who are stigmatised to have equitable access to healthcare services. Chris Goff, CAHMA's Executive Director, explains.
We have a number of different services that we run to help people engage with the primary health services of the ACT, the drug and alcohol services, hospital, integrated care services, any way they need to go within the ACT health system. We will support them to navigate those services.
Karen is a client at CAHMA. She has many interests, including her indoor garden, her cat, and art.
I've got in my unit that many indoor plants, it's incredible. I like to colour in. I've got my cat, Billy, a spoiled cat.
She cares about her health, but because she is honest about her drug use, she has been denied treatment by health professionals, as she explains.
I went up there and said, I'm looking for a doctor. I need to have a regular GP to go to. And we were talking, and then I said something about my drug use, and he just looked at me. And he goes, what did you say? I said, I have a problem with drugs. He goes, what sort of drugs? Heroin. And just how his eyes rolled back. But before that, he's, pleasant. Yes, I've got a new patient. And, willing to take me on. And then all of a sudden it was like he didn't want to know me. And that consult just stopped abruptly. He said, I've got to go, sort of finished.
Karen has also experienced poor care in a drug treatment service. During COVID, she was denied her monthly injection of Buvidal and was told that she had to be prescribed Suboxone tablets. This upset Karen because the monthly injection prevented her from having to dose daily, enabling her to work and live an enriched life.
I wasn't given any choice. It was basically, this is how it is, and if you don't like it, well, tough biggies. And then I was trying to explain to them my situation is, I'm doing really well with the injections. I think I actually used the word scared, that it's going to stuff me up. She didn't take that into account at all. She just dismissed it as if I was nothing, that I didn't have any rights as a person.
Steve explains the consequences of prison health staff not taking his injured foot seriously and waiting 2 years for a scan.
I was working at Legal Aid. I was compacting rubbish and they didn't have a compactor, so I was jumping on the bales and jumping off the bale, which was assumed in me getting a stress fracture in my foot. At that time I was working but out of control on heroin. So in that short space of time I get locked up. I try to get medical treatment while I'm in prison. They just look at me straight away as I'm just after drugs. That's it. They just look at you like, you get nothing. I'm in pain every day. Something needs to be done. It took 2 years for them to get me outside to get a scan done.
Steve's foot was so badly neglected in jail that when he came out, it was too late for any treatment. His condition had deteriorated so much that a piece of his toe had to be cut off. He was denied pain medication throughout his sentence, despite being in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Me, what gives me happiness really is to be able to give something back, man. Like people in my neighbourhood, I'm helping out with clothes and stuff, I like that. people see me, they call me to sort out dramas in other blocks. It's like a peacemaker. It just feels good, man.
Nick was admitted to hospital with a golden staph infection through injecting drugs. Nick explains how he was denied pain relief.
There wasn't any pain management at all. And I noticed a lot of other patients were quite heavily medicated around me, but I've never in my life since, identifying as drug user in a medical centre been given any analgesics ever for any condition.
In addition to being denied pain medication, Nick was prevented from being discharged home because the staff did not trust him. They thought that he would use his intravenous stent to shoot up drugs.
There was a lot of back and forth about whether they would let me go home with the pump because I might use the stent to inject illicit drugs at home and put myself in further risk. The whole illness was framed in a drug use way, so it was all about the fact that I had injected and I'd contracted it from my drug use. Just because I use drugs doesn't mean I don't care for my own health, and doesn't mean that I don't know how to look after myself outside my drug use and day-to-day life. I used to skateboard a lot, and I've started to get back into that. That's something fun and sort of a creative outlet for me.
Taylor is a young man who is very creative.
I really enjoy painting and drawing, anything artsy I'm quite involved in.
He wanted to be admitted to a rehabilitation centre to achieve abstinence from opioid dependence because he was living in his car. However, because of the shortage of rehab beds, motivation alone was not enough to get admitted and feel welcome.
They put all the stresses onto you. They say, you have to call us. If you don't call us, you're not welcome. You've got to show that you're willing to come here. And it's like, well, I've called you, first of all, saying I'm desperate, I need to come. Why do I have to keep checking in every 2 days? Like, I need it, I want to go.
Taylor explains the difficulties of methadone dosing if you're living in a rural area, or you need to coordinate daily visits to the dosing clinic with work.
So if you're dosing at a chemist, they'll give you a certain amount of takeaways. But at the hospital where I'm at dosing now, they don't do takeaways at all. And you've got 3 days. If you don't dose for 3 days, they'll cut your script off. And then you've got to organise to get on a new script, which takes months to do. So you've got to get in there at least every third day to dose, or else you're done.
Karen, Steve, Nick and Taylor's stories provide a snapshot into the ongoing bias treatment people who use drugs experience when trying to access healthcare services.
Stigma and discrimination, wherever it is found, causes people who already have trauma and health issues to turn away from help where they need it, and it punishes people for seeking that help. As healthcare professionals, and as society in general, we need to show compassion and understanding wherever stigma and discrimination rears its ugly head. CAHMA helps spread this message and helps people who use drugs feel dignity and control over their lives and their health outcomes. Please help us spread our message by giving compassionate care to our community.